Dan Williams, Survive Outdoors. Welcome back. Today we're going to hydrate first. Today we're doing dehydration signs and symptoms. Are you ready? Here we go. Dehydration. So how do we lose body fluids? We lose it through breathing, respiratory, renal, urinating, pooping, sweating, and tears. Tears are somewhat inconsequential, especially for dehydration. It's very important in terms of assessing dehydration though. So before I jump into this, one of the questions that's always been asked me when I was doing these presentations years ago is, can you drink your own urine in a survival situation? Well, you can. The answer is absolutely not. You're peeing out a lot of sodium. So if you drink your urine, you're increasing your sodium. If you increase your sodium, you're going to be more thirsty and you're going to dehydrate quicker. The other thing, if you take prescription meds, you're urinating out the metabolites. So you're drinking the urine, you're increasing those metabolites, and you're increasing those blood levels of those meds. Not a good idea. So let's get that out of the way real quick. Don't drink your own urine in a survival situation. Will not be beneficial. So an average male or female loses about 1 to 2 liters of urine per day. That 1 liter is equivalent to about 2 16-ounce bottles of water. So that gives you an idea. That's a rough estimate. You take in about 80% of your daily intake of water is through water or fluids, coffee, milk, tea, and 20% is through food. So there's been a lot of studies on cognition. When someone's dehydrated or when they're hyperthermic, does their cognition go down? Do they have some deficits? And there's a lot of studies that actually suggest that if you're dehydrated, they don't see much in cognition deficit. When I have had anybody in that's been dehydrated enough where they actually needed an IV, I've always seen some type of cognitive deficit. It could be attention span, it could be short-term memory loss, but there's always something there if you pursue it. And that's another way you can assess. If you're with your buddy backpacking and you find that he's just not with it 100%, he's trying to be all stoic and macho, you might want to get him down into the shade and get him hydrated. So be aware of that. Cold. So CID, cold-induced diuresis. So what is that? We still need fluids in the cold weather, and we sweat if we're shoveling snow, cross-country skiing, whatever we're doing in the cold weather. And a lot of people don't realize that you lose a lot of fluids. Coffee, caffeine, that's a no-no. So what's going to happen with coffee? It's going to increase your urine output. Alcohol, same thing. So alcohol actually inhibits something called an anti-diuretic hormone. And what that does is your urine will be more dilute, you're going to get the headache, and you're going to basically dehydrate quicker. And when you're in the cold weather, your body's trying to keep all these major organs in your core body warm. Heart, kidneys, brain. So peripherally, you're going to vasoconstrict. And that's really kind of how that whole scenario happens, and you're going to increase your urine output even in cold weather. So you've got to pump it in cold weather. Very important. Pump in the fluids. So signs and symptoms of dehydration. What are you looking for? You're looking for weight loss, decreased urine output, thirst, dark colored urine. So I'm going to put a graph up on the screen, either on this side, that side, maybe right in the middle. Somewhere here, and it's going to have these different shades of urine color. So rough estimate, it's not bad. I mean, clearly the darker urine, the more dehydrated you are. So you're going to look at that, and it has it broken down into mild, moderate, severe. But that is something that you need to look at when you're out there peeing. Important stuff. Symptoms, you're going to get a headache. You're clearly going to have a dry mouth. You're going to be thirsty. Headache. Muscle cramps. You may not get the muscle cramps out on the trail. It may be at nighttime when you're at rest and you're lying in bed. So muscle cramps, be aware of that. Be alert that some individuals like I said, the personality comes into play. Some individuals are going to be really stoic. They're going to try to really, manhandle this whole backpacking trip. You need to look at that. Address those situations in a gentle way and try to address them to, hey, we need to stop and drink water. Don't let your partner get really dehydrated, because it really gets ugly quickly. And then you got to transport him back. Not good. Some risk factors: pregnant, elderly, diabetics, higher risk factors for dehydration. The other thing I wanted to talk about is some of the treatment that you need to do on the trail. Yeah, you're going to hydrate. That's the treatment. But what can you do? Some little tricks and tips to help the hydration. A water bladder in your backpack. I'm not a big fan. I've had them before. I had one break, and then it's kind of like I had this knee-jerk reaction. I don't want that anymore. But they're very helpful and very beneficial. However much water you think you need to bring, double it. If you can carry it, double it. Bring a filtration system. That's really helpful. So look at my last video I did on cryptosporidium, and I reviewed 3 different filtration components. One's like the Catadine Be Free, the Cellular Squeeze, Life Straw. There's a 4th one, their Life Straw Mission, I believe. So check those out. That's important. Freeze a water bottle. Freeze it, put in your pack, lasts longer. Start out with the unfrozen liquid, and you're going to have that down the trail. Really nice move to make on backpacking and hiking. Avoid this. Dark colored shirts, not a good idea. Again, some of these are no-brainers. You already know it. Sometimes it's nice to review this. Take frequent breaks, 5-minute breaks, really helpful. I'm sure you guys have some tips. Leave them in the discussion below. That would be great. It's always beneficial. I love learning from my audience. So add that. In the meantime, keep your eyes on the horizon, your face to the wind. Stay safe and stay hydrated, guys.